God and favor. As your servants, we have been pleased to hold performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings be upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come. Other denominations of us and faithful among us, promoting and growing, advance peace, prosperity, welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you are committed to our church. Amen. Start now.
That assembly for session, the county assembly of Nyeri, orders of the day. This is the 1st of July, 2025 at 2 p.m. Order number 1, administration of board. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, statements. Order number 8, motions and bills.
Order number 1.
Administration of oath is now.
Proceed.
Communication from the chair. Messages, petitions, papers, notices of motion, statements, motion and bills. Communication from the chair. Pronouncements.
Good afternoon. I take this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of the Governor, His Excellency, Mwalimu Mutai Kahiga, and the Deputy Governor, His Excellency, Emmanuel Waroe, this honorable assembly. I would also like to welcome the County Executive members who have accompanied the County Executive Member for Finance to this assembly as he undertakes his fiduciary duty to the people of Nyeri. This sitting has been convened pursuant to provisions of Section 132(1) and 2 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 412A and Standing Order 223 of the County Assembly of Nyeri Standing Orders. Section 132 of the Act and Standing Order 223 requires that the County Executive Committee member for Finance, with the approval of the County Executive Committee, they make a pronouncement of the revenue raising measures for the county government each financial year. Pursuant to the same provisions, the Assembly business for today's afternoon sitting has been scheduled to allow the County Executive member for Finance and Economic Planning make a pronouncement of the budget highlights and the revenue raising measures for the county government for the financial year 2025-2026. I therefore welcome the county executive.
Point of order, Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wanted, with your permission, to start on a point of the 223, Article 5, that the recommendation of the member of County Executive Committee responsible for finance shall be included in a report and tabled in the Assembly. Speaker, we have had those reports, and it is only important, Mr. Speaker, that in such a big day as this, and in the presence of the very hard-working Governor of Nyeri, who has done tremendous good job of ensuring all our wards are developed, I wanted to request through you, Mr. Speaker, that these reports that the minister tables here, and he's a very hard-working minister, actually the longest serving, once we pass them as an assembly, let them be implemented to the dot. Because the minister is aware, we have a few programs that have not been implemented, like the machinery for Chinga for the year 2023-2024, and I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Honorable Kirogaduku, you know the provisions of Standing Order 223 do not envisage a situation where you are supposed to interrupt these proceedings. Otherwise, you have been heard. So let the county executive member take charge so that you can proceed from there. But you have been heard.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, colleagues, and the great people of Nyeri County, I rise before this distinguished House with humility and a deep sense of responsibility to warmly welcome you all to this important occasion. Mr. Speaker, it is both an honor and a statutory obligation to present to this honorable assembly the people of Nyeri County and the wider Kenyan Republic the budget statement for the financial year 2025-2026. Mr. Speaker, this pronouncement is in fulfillment of Section 132(1) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, which mandates the County Executive Committee member for Finance to make a public statement on the budget policy highlights and revenue-raising measures for the upcoming financial year. Mr. Speaker, this year's statement is not just a fiscal outline. It's a response to a growing national consciousness. Mr. Speaker, this budget is being presented at a time when there is a heightened call for openness, accountability, and inclusivity in governance, particularly championed by our younger generation, the Gen Zs. Their voices, aspirations, and persistent advocacy have reminded us that the budget must not only be lawful and logical, it must also be people-driven, transparent, and socially responsive. Mr. Speaker, IDP delivers real impact and tangible outcomes for the residents of Nyeri County. Of the withdrawn finance for subsequent national expenditure cuts 2026. Accordingly, Mr. Speaker, the theme of this year's budget is consolidating gains under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda for inclusive green growth. This theme affirms our resolve to deepen the progress achieved so far while aligning our fiscal strategy with sustainability, climate resilience, and economic inclusivity. It is a commitment to leave no one behind. Mr. Speaker, the financial year 2024-2025 commenced with a strong resolve by the county government to address two key priorities. First, to clear all eligible pending bills and commitments from the previous financial years. And second, Mr. Speaker, to ensure continuity in the implementation of ongoing projects. Mr. Speaker, in line with this, the administration issued a circular directing that all eligible pending bills and ongoing works for the financial year 2023-2024, supported by corresponding budgetary provisions in the current year, be treated as a fast charge in accordance with the regulations 41(2) of the Public Finance Management County Government Regulations 2015, pending formal reappropriation in the supplementary budget. Nevertheless, Mr. Speaker, this policy position was critical for maintaining fiscal discipline and restoring contractor and supplier confidence. The execution of budget encountered significant delays due to the national level disruptions. Most notably, Mr. Speaker, the withdrawal of the National Finance Bill 2024, following nationwide protests triggered a cascade of events that affected county-level fiscal planning. Mr. Speaker, As a result, the Division of Revenue Bill and the County Allocation Act were amended, leading to a reduction in the equitable share allocation to counties. This translated to Kenya shillings 63 million cut for the county government of Nyeri. In addition, Mr. Speaker, the downward revision of the equitable share allocations further affected the funding ceilings for the county assemblies across the country. This prompted the County Assemblies Forum, CAF, to challenge the allocation framework through the courts. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, delays in the approval of the county government additional allocation bill exacerbated the uncertainty and slowed the release of critical conditional grants and donor funds. It is on this basis, Mr. Speaker, that for the first time, the month of April 2025, that is towards the end of the financial year, projects. Mr. Speaker, despite these setbacks, the county government has made commendable progress. A majority of ongoing projects for the financial year 2023-2024 have either been completed or are at stages, while new projects were amounted to Kenya shillings 9 billion. This budget consists of 2.9 billion allocated for development expenditures, brought forward from financial year 2023-2024, allowing for the settlement of ongoing projects and pending bills, while also reflecting changes outlined in the approved 2024, as well as the county government additional allocations bill current financial year. Our resource and revenue collections stood at Kenya shillings 461, represents a decline of Kenya shillings 31.3 million % compared to Kenya shillings 490 million collected over the same period in the financial year 2020. The Nyeri County Health Services Fund collected Kenya shillings 497.6 million against the annual target of Kenya shillings 836.3 million. In terms of external financing, Mr. Speaker, the county government additional grants for from the National Treasury and by the close of the third quarter. Shillings 4.71 billion, of which Kenya shillings 4.2 billion on recurrent activities and Kenya shillings 510 million on development. Mr. Speaker, as we chart forward with the financial year 2025-26 budget, it is important to reflect on the significant progress we have made during the financial year 2024-2025. Across all thematic areas, the county government has remained steadfast in delivering services that are impactful, inclusive, and aligned with the aspirations of our people. In agriculture, Mr. Speaker, small-scale farmers received support through the distribution of over 6.7 tons of certified maize seeds and 310 tons of goat manure to boost soil fertility and crop productivity. Over 15,000 farmers benefited from improved poultry and dairy breeds, while 20,000 animals were vaccinated under our enhanced livestock health program, and another 10,000 served through our subsidized artificial insemination. Mr. Speaker, agricultural extension services 4,000 farmers, and the rollout of the agripreneur model engaged 170 youth to strengthen ward-level service delivery. Through the NAF CDP program, 6 coffee cooperatives received over Kenya shillings 30 million in grants to improve post-harvest handling, while 14 cooperatives and 16 agri-based circles were supported to expand market access and enhance governance. Mr. Speaker, in health financing, this sector received Kenya shillings 3.2 billion, the largest departmental allocation. This funded key and intervention of essential medicines, renovations of rural facilities, and the Wamagana Level 4 Hospital kickoff. Notably, Mr. Speaker, the Nyeri Health Services Fund, operationalized at the 2021 Act, continued to grow, having collected a total revenue of Kenya shillings 1,147,153,279. That is inclusive of Kenya shillings 491,940,030 worth of pending insurance claims as of 15th June 2025. The county government is also increasing the population registration into SHA, with 52.4% of the residents already registered, placing Nyeri County among the top 3 counties nationally. Mr. Speaker, in education and vocational training space, 18 ECD classrooms and sanitation facilities were completed, with 24 more under construction. Over 650 chairs and tables were procured to improve the learning environment, while VTCs received Kenya shillings 15 million in capitation grants. A total of 1,517 trainees graduated from vocational centers and bursaries under the Elimu Fund, supported 728 VTC trainees through partnership with KCB Foundation and 240 vulnerable students in secondary school. Mr. Speaker, moving to water and climate resilience, more than 85 kilometers of pipeline were laid across 16 community projects and 13 borehole projects serving 900 households were implemented. The county government further distributed over 19,000 fruit trees and that 7,600 indigenous pottery to promote climate-smart livestock livelihoods. Notably, 254 officers and county-wide climate change committees were trained on climate change, and 50 sensitization campaigns were carried out to raise awareness at the community level. Mr. Speaker, under infrastructure and energy, the county government graded 530 kilometers and gravelled 70 kilometers of road network, while 50 contracts worth an additional 85 kilometers were issued to further improve rural accessibility. In urban areas, 120 new streetlights were installed, and maintenance of existing high mast and standalone systems was undertaken to promote security and economic activity. Mr. Speaker, in addition, the county government invested Kenya shillings 68.1 million in municipal road infrastructure, leading to the rehabilitation, maintenance, and upgrading of 6.59 kilometers of roads. Mr. Speaker, with regard to public service and administration, key human resource forms were implemented. A total of 345 staff were promoted and 40 officers redesignated to align their roles with qualifications. The county government also onboarded 200 interns and facilitated attachment opportunities to over 500 students. Administrative offices were renovated and workplace safety was enhanced through installation of CCTV systems and construction of disability accessible infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, on disaster and social protection, support was extended to over 1,300 fire victims and 250 vulnerable households. The county government continued to care for 65 children at Karatina Children's Home and distributed over 11,000 dignity kits to adolescent girls. In advancing youth empowerment, the Youth Development Policy was launched, and more than 800 participants were trained on access to government procurement opportunities, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy. Further, Mr. Speaker, the area of sports development, the county government continued to promote youth engagement and nurture local talent through active support for organized sporting activities. 70 participants were facilitated to take part in the Kenya Youth Inter-County Sports Association, HISA Games, while support was extended to local teams through the distribution of sports, uniform, and equipment. Mr. Speaker, several successful tournaments were organized, including the Nyeri Muiga National Volleyball Tournament with 7 teams. The Governor Mwalimu Kahiga Volleyball Championships featuring 42 teams, the World AIDS Day Road and Skating Race with 240 participants, and the Athletics Kenya Central Region Cross Country Championships with 200 athletes. These events not only strengthened youth participation in sports, but also promoted sports tourism, stimulated local business, and enhanced community cohesion across the county. Mr. Speaker, In trade and industrial development, the Enterprise Development Fund disbursed Kenya shillings 78 million to support 235 businesses. Markets across the county were upgraded. The progress continued on the flagship county aggregation industrial park. Consumer protection efforts were enhanced through inspection and certification of over 10,000 weighing instruments. Mr. Speaker, the tourism, culture, and arts docket delivered high-impact events, including the 6th Annual Tourism and Cultural Festival and World Tourism Day celebrations. Infrastructure developments at Kimathi, Dedan Kimathi Memorial Park, and Dobosha Falls have begun to attract local tourists. Additionally, over 1,000 youth participated in the talent development auditions, and 65 youth filmmakers received training on content production and monetization. Mr. Speaker, under the cooperative development, 500 cooperative leaders were trained in governance and financial literacy. 16 new cooperatives were registered, and 67 existing ones underwent audits to improve accountability and sustainability within the movement. Mr. Speaker, addressing solid waste management, the county government collected over 40,000 tons of garbage and 3,000 kilograms of e-waste. 11 new skip bins were procured, GIS mapping of disposal infrastructure was completed, and the Kikeu dam site saw significant upgrades, including a new perimeter wall and ablution facilities. Allow me to give some highlights on major issues emerging in public finance management. Mr. Speaker, the county government of Nyeri remains committed to entrenching sound public financial management practices in line with the principles of transparency, accountability, and efficient service delivery. Through the steadfast leadership of His Excellency Governor Honorable Mutahi Kahiga, the county treasury has achieved notable milestones in strengthening fiscal discipline and enhancing financial governance. The following are the key achievements and developments within the public finance management space in the financial year 2024-2025. Mr. Speaker, in line with the National Treasury Directive, all government ministries, departments, and agencies transitioned to accrual accounting effective 1st July 2024. The first accrual-based financial statements are expected at the end of the current financial year. This reform, Mr. Speaker, will enable the county government to comprehensively account for all assets and liabilities, thereby improving financial reporting and decision-making. Mr. Speaker, to support this transition, the county government has initiated targeted capacity building for core staff within the county treasury and will progressively roll out training to all relevant personnel subject to availability of resources. Mr. Speaker, the full rollout of the electronic government procurement EGP system is scheduled to commence on 1st July 2025. This system is expected to digitize and streamline all procurement processes, enhancing transparency, efficiency, and value for money in public spending. Mr. Speaker, the county treasury has proactively facilitated training for supply chain management officers and other key users to ensure readiness for seamless transition. Mr. Speaker, despite encountering operational challenges, acquisition approvals by the Office of the Control of Budget, the county treasury has remained resolute in ensuring that monthly salaries and statutory deductions for county employees are processed and disbursed within the stipulated timelines. As of today, personal emoluments and allowances for the month of June have already been processed, awaiting payment. Mr. Speaker, allow me to take this opportunity to commend our staff for their resilience and commitment to public service. Mr. Speaker, the settlement of pending bills remains a priority area for fiscal discipline. As at the end of the financial year 2023-2024, a total stock of pending bills stood at Kenya shillings 192.6 million, with Kenya shillings 89 million under recurrent expenditure and 100.3.7 under development. By the end of the third quarter of the financial year 2024-25, the county government had disbursed Kenya shillings 30.5 million for recurrent and Kenya shillings at 3.3 million for development obligations. Mr. Speaker, the county government remains committed to progressively settling all verified bills in accordance with the National Treasury Directive. in order to boost supplier confidence and ensure continuity in delivery of service. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to report that the county government has consistently attained a qualified audit opinion from the Kenya National Audit Office over the last 5 years. This is a statement to our adherence of proper accounting standards and the integrity of our financial records. Mr. Speaker, as we transition to accrual accounting, we are well positioned to sustain and build on this performance. Mr. Speaker, the Nyeri County government continues to be recognized nationally for its commitment to open governance. Notably, the county government was acknowledged by the Budget Hub for 5 consecutive years of consistently publishing key budget documents on time. This recognition affirms our unwavering dedication to transparency, public accountability, and citizen engagement in the budget-making process. Mr. Speaker, to address gaps in on-source revenue mobilization across the counties, the National Treasury developed the national policy to support enhancement of county governments' OSRs in 2019. And then administrative capacity by promoting the enactment of OSR laws, developing appropriate tariffs, and establishing an integrated revenue management system. In alignment with these national efforts, Mr. Speaker, our county has formulated a trade and pricing policy to guide the setting of tariffs and pricing for public services. This policy aims to boost revenue generation while promoting fairness, transparency, and sustainability. Further, Mr. Speaker, we are continuously working towards improving the revenue collection system by dealing with emerging challenges and enhancing the system's capability, scalability, as well as recruitment of more revenue clerks to enhance revenue collection and enforcement efforts. Mr. Speaker, the national economy has remained resilient despite a challenging global and domestic environment. Over the 2023-24 period, Kenya recorded an average growth of 5.2%, outpacing global and sub-Saharan African averages of 3.3% and 3.8% respectively. This strong performance has been driven by the broad-based sectoral recovery, a rebound in agriculture, and targeted policy reforms under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Mr. Speaker, the economy is expected to sustain momentum in 2025 and 2025, with growth expected at 5.3% per year. With regards to general price patterns of goods and services, Mr. Speaker, inflation has significantly eased. As of May 2025, it stood at 3.8%, down from a peak of 9.6% in October 2022. This has led to a gradual easing of the central bank rate to 9.5%, reduced interest rates and borrowing costs, essential food, and improving household purchasing power. Mr. Speaker, this economic outlook faces both external and domestic risks emanating from trade tensions, financial markets volatility, geopolitical conflicts, and extreme weather conditions that may impact agriculture, infrastructure, food security, exports, competitiveness, and other macroeconomic buffers. Mr. Speaker, with the National Development Outlook for 2025-2026, offers a platform of macroeconomic stability. Counties must remain vigilant and adaptive in the events that the risks materialize. Nyeri County government has aligned its fiscal strategy with national priorities, enhancing its resilience and ensuring that citizens continue to benefit from inclusive and sustainable development. Allow me, Mr. Speaker, to give some highlights on the fiscal policy and the financial year 2025-2025 budget framework. Mr. Speaker, the development of the fiscal framework and priorities for the financial year 2025-2026 budget has been a deliberate, exhaustive, and all-inclusive process that commenced with the formulation of the annual development plan for the financial year 2025-26. This process, Mr. Speaker, served as the foundation upon which the county government structured its fiscal objectives and sectoral priorities for the year. Mr. Speaker, in line with the principles of transparency, accountability, and participatory governance, the county government of Nyeri undertook an extensive public participation initiative to inform the annual development plan. Physical public forums were organized across all sub-counties and supplemented with digital engagement through an X-Space forum, ensuring inclusivity and access to diverse groups, including youth, women, persons with disabilities, business owners, civil society, and other stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, these forums provided a critical platform for citizens and stakeholders to voice their development priorities and align them with the broader objectives of the County Integrated Development Plan 2023-2027. Mr. Speaker, the inputs collected through this participatory process informed the identification and prioritization of broad programs and projects. These were then used as a basis for developing the county physical strategy paper, during which stakeholders were once again engaged to prioritize their programs, thereby guiding the allocation of resources and the determination of budget ceilings. The end result, Mr. Speaker, is a budget framework that is not only responsive to the current needs of our people, but also consistent with our collective aspirations, as outlined in the County Integrated Development Plan. This reflects a bottom-up planning approach that promotes inclusivity, ownership, and transparency. Mr. Speaker, the county government annual budget for the financial year 2025-26 that was submitted to this distinguished House on the 30th of April 2025 was developed through a zero-based approach, where resources were allocated based on priorities and availability of funds. The projected total budget for the financial year is Kenya shillings 8,515,847,948 Kenya shillings, consisting of a recurrent expenditure of 5,829,633,973, which is 68% of the total budget. Mr. Speaker, out of this, the allocation of personal emolument and Kenya shillings 1,423,367,327 for operations and maintenance. Mr. Speaker, it is important to bring to the attention of this distinguished House that the county's wage bill trade continues to be a major area of concern. Mr. Speaker, as per the budget of the financial year 2025-2026, the allocation of personal emoluments is at 52% of the entire budget, against the recommended rate of that 5% as per the PFM regulations. This trend threatens to constrain operations, service delivery, and development if not urgently addressed. Mr. Speaker, the amount allocated for development expenditure is Kenya shillings 2,686,213,975, which represents that 2% of the total budget. Most of these resources have been allocated in line with the County Integrated Development Plan 2023-2027 and the Annual Development Plan 2025-26, which were prepared in line with the National Bottom-Up Economic Transformation Agenda and other national and international plans and agreements. The views expressed by the public further inform the allocation of resources. Mr. Speaker, the County Treasury is committed to clearing all pending bills within the financial year and ensuring that works are completed and paid for within the year. However, given the earlier challenges highlighted, funds will be set aside for ongoing projects that may roll over to ensure timely payment to service providers who remain vital to our development efforts. This is the current scenario as we close and open this financial year. Allow me, Mr. Speaker, to give expenditure priorities. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, let us now shift our attention to the expenditure priorities for the financial year 2025-2026. Mr. Speaker, the allocations proposed under each thematic area in the financial year 2025-26 budget are not only strategic in nature, but are deeply rooted in the aspirations of our people, as gathered during extensive public participation forums. The resource distribution emphasizes social equity, economic empowerment, and environmental sustainability. Mr. Speaker, an allocation amounting to Kenya shillings 344.5 million has been directed towards trade and industrial development. This investment recognizes the need to catalyze local economic growth by supporting small enterprises and industrialization. The lion's share of Kenya shillings 250 million is earmarked for the construction of an industrial park to boost value addition and attract investors, with an additional Kenya shillings 50 million as county funding. The remaining funds will improve market infrastructure, provide ICT support, and facilitate trade shows and exhibitions. Mr. Speaker, an allocation of Kenya shillings 9 million has been provided to the cooperative development sector to strengthen the cooperative movement and promote inclusive economic empowerment. This includes funding for capacity building of cooperative leadership and staff, improvement of coffee factories, support of cooperative marketing through exhibitions and trade fairs, and the procurement of cooperative management software to enhance operational efficiency. Mr. Speaker, during public participation, the citizens demanded for equitable healthcare access and resilient health infrastructure, with more emphasis on access to drugs in our healthcare facilities. To this end, I've set aside Kenya shillings 286.5 million for development activities in health services. Out of this, Mr. Speaker, Kenya shillings 100 million has been provided for the procurement of essential drugs and medical supplies. Additionally, resources will facilitate the completion of the Wamagana Level 4 Hospital, as well as equipping and renovation of various facilities, including the rural centers. This investment is pivotal to achieving universal health coverage, a core pillar of the bottom-up economic agenda. Mr. Speaker, it is important to know that the allocation of health services in this budget is over and above the Kenya shillings 850 million expected to be collected through the Nyeri County Health Services Fund in the financial year 2025-2026. These funds retained at source as per the Health Services Fund Act will be used to support the procurement of essential medical supplies, maintenance of equipment, and improvement of service delivery at the facility level. This dual stream financing approach ensures that our health system remains adequately resourced to meet the needs of our people, while also enhancing efficiency, autonomy, and responsiveness of the point of care. To support agriculture, livestock, and aquaculture development, Mr. Speaker, a total of 267 million has been allocated under the agriculture and crops management, out of which 231.25 million comprises a conditional grant under the National Agricultural Value Chain Development Program, complemented by Kenya shillings 5 million in county funding. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, Kenya shillings 40.5 million has been set aside to support smallholder farmers through the provision of critical inputs and infrastructure. The projects cover a wide range of interventions, including the purchase of agricultural materials and equipment, distribution of certified seeds, beans and potatoes, supply of fruit tree seedlings, and provision of breeding stock, such as chicks and dairy goats. Further, Mr. Speaker, value chain support has also been prioritized through investments in milk coolers, feed mixers, and construction of tea buying centers. Mr. Speaker, I further set aside Kenya shillings 23.4 million to support livestock-related activities, such as artificial insemination, vaccination, and other veterinary activities. Further, plans are underway for the county government to develop its own hatchery due to the rising demand for indigenous chicken. In addition to this, the department intends to construct a common leather processing unit, a modern zero grazing unit, and renovate the county slaughterhouses. Towards this end, Mr. Speaker, I've set aside 13.6 million. Mr. Speaker, aquaculture development continues to be a vital component of our strategy to promote nutrition, diversify livelihoods, and create employment opportunities. In the financial year 2025-26 budget, Kenya shillings 22.27 million has been allocated towards this subsector. This includes 16.77 million in conditional grants and additional funding for the establishment of fish pods, procurement of fingerlings, pod liners, fish feeds, and other related activities. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, continued support to agricultural institutions remains critical. An allocation of Kenya shillings 5.3 million has been provided for Abogo ATC, to support training, demonstration, and productive activities, while 6.2 million Kenya shillings has been allocated to the Agricultural Mechanization Station in Arumoru to facilitate subsidized mechanization services and maintain key infrastructure. These institutions are instrumental in equipping our farmers with knowledge, tools, and technologies to boost productivity. Mr. Speaker, climate change remains a profound threat to our livelihoods. To this end, Kenya shillings 193.4 million has been allocated to climate change programs, including Kenya shillings 136 million conditional grants and Kenya shillings 57.4 million County Climate Change Fund as a counter contribution. These funds, implemented through ward-specific planning committees, directly represent the voices of citizens and their desire for climate resilient development at the grassroots level. A further Kenya shillings 33.5 million has been set aside to support our efforts in enhancing environmental conservation and water accessibility. Mr. Speaker, roads and infrastructure development has been allocated Kenya shillings 267.85 million, underscoring its foundational role in unlocking economic potential across all wards. Kenya shillings 187.585 million from this amount has been allocated towards specific road improvement projects, with further resources for equipment hire, fuel and maintenance of machinery to support the implementation of these ward-specific projects. Energy, especially street lighting, has received Kenya shillings 219.3 million. This includes 102 million for the settlement of electricity bills and Kenya shillings 86.6 million for installation of new lights in trading centers and public spaces. This investment will not only curb insecurity, but will contribute towards extending the business hours, which will subsequently spur economic growth. Mr. Speaker, while the investment in the energy sector is particularly in the installation and maintenance of streetlights plays a key role in enhancing growth, it is important to exercise fiscal caution. The county government continues to face a sharp rise in electricity bills, which has significantly increased the cost burden associated with operating and maintaining these installations. Mr. Speaker, as the appetite for more streetlights grows among our wards, we must begin to explore sustainable and cost-effective alternatives, such as solar-powered lighting and energy-efficient LED technology to manage long-term operational costs. This will ensure that while we meet the public's demand for better lighting, we also safeguard the county government's financial sustainability. Mr. Speaker, let us now turn our attention to municipal development, for which I've allocated 138.3 million. This demonstrates our commitment to cleaner, more organized urban centers. From this budget, Kenya shillings 27 million, in addition to Kenya shillings 35 million, Kenya Urban Support Program, KUSIP, grant to strengthen urban governance. Further, I've set aside 55.87 million towards garbage management and drainage works within the municipality. Mr. Speaker, with regards to solid waste management in other parts of the county, Kenya shillings 3.8 million has been allocated towards key uses, including fuel and maintenance of garbage trucks, purchase of safety gear, and skip bins. This responds directly to public complaints about the proliferation of unmanaged waste, particularly in urban centers. Mr. Speaker, a total of 98.15 million has been allocated towards ECD to enhance access to quality foundational learning. This allocation supports the construction of new ECD classrooms, the renovation of existing centers, installation of sanitation facilities, and provision of learning and teaching materials. Mr. Speaker, to enhance access to technical and vocational skills for our youth, a total of 47.5 million has been allocated to youth and vocational training centers in the financial year 2025-26 budget. This allocation will go towards improvement of VTC infrastructure, provision of learning and exam material, targeted youth empowerment programs such as training of border riders, and counter contribution of the KCB to Jiajiri program. Notably, Mr. Speaker, we have set aside Kenya shillings 15 million grant aimed at supporting all the youths in our VTCs to access affordable learning. Mr. Speaker, a total of 112.15 million has been allocated to the gender, youth, and social protection thematic area, reflecting the county government's commitment to fostering inclusivity, empowerment, and resilience among vulnerable groups. A significant portion of Kenya sharing 76.85 million is earmarked for the provision of the empowerment equipment to organized groups across the wards, enhancing income generation and economic independence. In support of community interaction and cultural development, Kenya Sharing's 18.5 million will go towards the construction and renovation of social halls. Mr. Speaker, the budget further supports youth inclusion through an allocation of Kenya Sharing's 3.5 million for the Youth Summit. This platform has been great potential to foster dialogue and innovation while raising awareness amongst the youth about governance. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, Kenya Sharing's 9.6 million has been allocated for disability mainstreaming, which includes Kenya Sharing's 1.5 million for assistive devices and Kenya Sharing's 8.1 million for the installation of a lift at the governor's office, aimed at improving access to the services for persons living with disabilities. In addition to the key investments highlighted, a further Kenya Sharing's 1 million has been allocated for training the youth and other special interest groups on access to government procurement opportunities, AGPO, economic empowerment and inclusion opportunities. Mr. Speaker, sports contribute significantly towards building social cohesion and youth talent development. Based on this, I've set aside a total of Kenya Sharing's 28.1 million. This includes funding the maintenance of sports facilities, management of county tournaments, as well as the purchase of sports equipment for the events like Ikoska and Kisa Games. Mr. Speaker, the tourism, culture, and arts sector has been allocated Kenya Sharing's 8 million to advance cultural heritage and sustainable tourism. The budget will support countywide talent development, including innovations and training in culture, arts, and digital economy, and support for the organization of the major cultural and tourism events such as the Nyeri Annual Tourism Festival, Scouts Founders Day, and Dedan Kimathi commemoration, as well as participation in national celebrations. Mr. Speaker, an allocation of Kenya Sharing's 25.5 million has been made towards disaster management to enhance the county's preparedness, response, and recovery capacity in the face of emergencies. This investment covers critical interventions, such as the construction of staff houses at Karatina Fire Station, improvements at the Kiawana Fire Station, and the establishment of a county emergency operations center. Mr. Speaker, funds have also been allocated for the purchase of essential emergency supplies, fuel, vehicle maintenance, specialized disaster response equipment, and the installation of secure storage units for disaster tools. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, to further deepen citizen engagement and promote inclusive governance, the operational budget for the Civic Education and Public Participation Unit has been increased to Kenya Sharing's 8 million in the financial year 2025-26 budget. This additional funding will enhance the unit's capacity to conduct more frequent, structured, and accessible public participation forums across all wards, ensuring the voices of the people continue to shape county policies, plans, and budgets in a meaningful and impactful way. In summary, Mr. Speaker, the 2025 budget allocations have been guided not just by economic logic, but by the voices, values, and visions of the Nyeri people. These thematic provisions directly contribute to inclusive green growth while cementing the gains made at the bottom-up economic agenda. The result is a people-driven, climate-conscious, and a growth-oriented physical strategy that leaves no one behind. To finance this budget, Mr. Speaker, revenues will be mobilized for the combination of equitable share from the national government, conditional grants and loans from development partners, and locally generated own-source revenue. The county government expects to receive Kenya Sharing 6.52 billion as an equitable share from the national government, which forms the backbone of the county's resource envelope. In addition, the county anticipates receiving a total of 1.2 billion from various loans and conditional grants. Further, Mr. Speaker, to complement these external revenues, the county government has set a target of Kenya Shillings 800 million in own source revenue for the financial year. This will be generated through various local streams, including land rates, business permits, market fees, parking fees, and other levies. Moreover, Mr. Speaker, the county government expects to collect and retain Kenya shillings 850 million through the Nyeri Health Services Fund as appropriations in aid, which will be reinvested in improving access to quality healthcare services and infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, on-source revenue remains a critical pillar in our county's resource envelope. It plays a pivotal role in strengthening our fiscal independence and safeguarding service delivery from the uncertainties associated with the delayed or inconsistent exchequer releases. Mr. Speaker, while we need to expand our local revenue capacity, while the need to expand our local revenue capacity is both pressing and evident, we have, with deliberate caution, retained the target from the previous financial year. This decision is anchored on the recognition that raising targets without addressing existing collection inefficiencies may not yield desired results. Mr. Speaker, our focus now shifts to minimizing under collection through a more strategic and results-oriented approach. We intend to achieve this through tightening enforcement, improving compliance through strategies such as waiving penalties and interest, leveraging automation, and encouraging out-of-court settlements and alternative dispute resolution of revenue-related cases, and enhancing our accountability and human resource capacity within our revenue administration systems. Mr. Speaker, by strengthening these systems and ensuring consistent follow-up, we are confident that we can unlock more of our local revenue potential without introducing additional burdens on our residents. Mr. Speaker, to achieve this target, I have submitted the legislative proposal on the revenue-raising measures 2025 to this Honorable House. In light of the prevailing economic hardships, the county government has retained most charges at their year 2023 levels, offering relief to residents and businesses during this challenging period. Mr. Speaker, to further support small enterprises, the monthly rent for the Field Marshal Kimathi Muthoni Kemirema Transport Terminal stalls has been reduced, encouraging SME growth and sustainability. Further, Mr. Speaker, we have proposed to lower the land rate struck from 0.75% to between 0.1% and 0.3% effectively, reducing the land rate payable per property. To ensure shared responsibility, a service charge will be introduced for professionals. These are lawyers, doctors, and other professionals who benefit from public services but have not been contributing financially. Additionally, new licenses are proposed for schools offering international courses and charges for emerging services such as hiring library grounds for private events. At the health, Mr. Speaker, new services are being introduced and priced in line with the Social Health Authority SHA rates, making essential care more accessible without overburdening residents. Importantly, Mr. Speaker, we have also proposed the removal of outdated and redundant fees, streamlining the finance framework. While some minor increases are necessary, Mr. Speaker, they apply only to services requiring additional funding for sustainability. And even so, charges remain below market rates to ensure affordability for all. Mr. Speaker, I wish to inform the honorable members that the county budget for the financial year 2025-26 is balanced and is expected to be financed fully through the equitable share, conditional grants and donor funds, transfers from national government and agencies, as well as own source revenue. However, Mr. Speaker, due to the financial year 2024-25 budget implication challenges earlier highlighted, we anticipate that the contracts will roll over to the next financial year, either as ongoing works or pending bills. However, this can only be ascertained after the closure of the financial year. Consequently, Mr. Speaker, some pending commitments that will have corresponding votes in this budget, once approved, will be treated as fast charge in the respective department's budget for the financial year 2025-2026, in line with the PFM regulations, section 41(2). This is aimed at safeguarding the county government service providers from distress and ensure that there are no disruptions to county service provision. Mr. Speaker, I wish to restate my commitment to ensure timely payment to all our contractors and other service providers as long as there are no cash flow disruptions occasioned by exogenous factors. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the financial year 2025-26 budget is a bold and deliberate step towards consolidating the gains made under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda with a clear focus on inclusive and green growth. Through targeted investments across highlighted key thematic areas, this budget reflects the collective aspirations of our people as captured during every stage of the budgeting cycle. Mr. Speaker, as a government, we recognize that development must be people-led and people-owned. We will therefore continue to strengthen public participation and civic engagement so that our citizens remain not just beneficiaries but active partners in shaping the future of this great county. Mr. Speaker, allow me to extend my sincere gratitude to His Excellency, the Governor, Mwalimu Mutahi Kahiga, for his visionary leadership and steadfast commitment throughout the budget-making process. His guidance has been instrumental in shaping a budget that reflects the priorities and aspirations of the people of Nyeri. I also thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to present these highlights of the financial year 2025-2026 budget and for the unwavering support this Honorable House has extended to the County Treasury. The synergy between the County Executive and the County Assembly has fostered a spirit of cooperation and strategic dialogue that has strengthened our planning and decision-making process. Mr. Speaker, I sincerely thank all honorable members for their active engagement and insightful deliberations and commitment to ensuring that the budget aligns with the needs of our communities. Special thanks go to the Budget and Appropriations Committee, led by Honorable Erastus Karanja, the Finance and Economic Planning Committee, chaired by Honorable Anastasio Wakafaire, all sectoral committees, and Leader of Majority, Honorable James Kanyugo, for their diligence and dedication in reviewing and refining these estimates. Mr. Speaker, I also wish to recognize the support of my fellow Executive Committee members, all accounting officers, and the entire team at the Department of Finance, Economic Planning, and ICT. Your professionalism, long hours, and unwavering commitment ensured timely and quality delivery of this budget. Mr. Speaker, to the citizens of Nyeri, I express my deepest appreciation. Your active participation and honest feedback during the budgeting-making process have made this document truly people-driven. We remain committed to implementing it with transparency and impact. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I thank my family for their unwavering support and encouragement, which continues to give me strength and resolve to serve the people of Nyeri with passion and dedication. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. God bless us all. God bless Nyeri County. God bless Kenya. Asanteni sana.
His Excellency, the Governor of Nyeri, His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, honorable members, County Executive Committee members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you, the CC Finance. I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for coming and gracing this particular and this important occasion. And having come to the end of this particular business, I want to invite all the guests and members for tea after this. And the members of this assembly, this house will adjourn tomorrow at 9 a.m. So, rise.